Hello everybody. I had the opportunity to visit 10 sites this week. Overall, things looked good. There were some areas of concern. Prerequisite paperwork. The company EH&S handbook has established minimum requirements for safety prior to commencement of work on any job. Number one, you must have an appointed competent person on site. Number two, if we're having structural demolition, removing structural components, then there is to be a pre-demolition survey. A daily PTP. A daily PTP is to be done and signed by everyone on site so that they know, and has been described to them, what the hazards are with the project and with the task assigned to them, and how to mitigate those hazards. Weekly documented toolbox safety meeting, a requirement under the EH&S. These are training moments to train our people on hazards that may or may not be on the job, but it is part of their training, such as fire protection, use of fire extinguishers, so on and so forth, that type of training. There should be a copy of the company EH&S handbook on the site. Primarily, it's a reference. It talks, in line with OSHA, about how we as a company manage risk. From fall protection to trenching to respiratory protection, all that is covered in the EH&S handbook. It's a valuable tool for the competent person on site, and it should always be one on site. SDS book, safety data sheets. OSHA requires for HAZCOM that we're able to describe all the chemicals and what their hazards are on our job site and have reference material to them in case there's an exposure and what those exposures effects may be on an individual. An SDS is a prerequisite form before work begins according to the EH&S handbook. Daily documented equipment inspections. If a piece of equipment has an accident, someone gets injured, the first thing OSHA is going to want to know after is the person okay and what happened. They're going to want to see all associated documents, including those that I just talked about, the PTP, the pre-demolition survey, the weekly toolbox safety meeting, and the documented equipment inspections. Also, if there is breaking of concrete and or the potential of respirable silica dust exposure, there shall be an ECP exposure control plan for silica on site and available for review. Also, there may be some other things. Consult your EH&S handbook for other required items specific to your job. These items are no different than what an OSHA compliance officer might ask for. Fines have been assessed from tens of thousands to over 100,000 for sites not in compliance with these or some of these requirements. Excavations. Excavations with steep or sheer walls are to be protected from impact of traffic, because traffic along the wall vibrations could cause that excavation wall to shear off and collapse. Also, fall protection is also a requirement. If there's a fall of greater than 6 feet and it's a sheer wall without any slope, you have to have some type of protection, be it a barricade, a hard barricade, a warning line. It has to be protected. This also extends to pits and shafts on job sites. Remember, the PTP requires that if there's a potential for respirable silica exposure, a silica exposure control plan is to be on site. OSHA requires an ECP as well. Trucks with fuel tanks require a minimum of a 20 BC fire extinguisher. If you need the reference, it's OSHA 1926-152-D4. The number 20 is not the weight of the extinguisher, but it's the total square feet of coverage that it can provide. Electrically energized electrical panels, outlets, switch boxes are required to be properly covered with design covers and properly secured. Subcontractors. We have the duty to ensure that any subcontractor works for us, abides by our company safety policies and any applicable OSHA standard. If we have subs doing roof work, then it's our responsibility to ensure they're following the required safety procedures pertaining to fall protection. Ladders. Ladders cannot pass inspection without legible capacity labels. Ladders are to be inspected and pass inspection prior to use. If we have other subs on the job, if our guys attempt to get on a ladder, they need to make sure that ladder can pass inspections before they use it. It's highly recommended that we do not use other subs' ladders. So look around your site. Do you see any of these items or other items that need to be addressed? Whenever you correct a safety concern, make sure you use the opportunity to train your team members to the recognized hazard and how to mitigate it. On to the next item. Does safety unnecessarily impact your work schedules? Is safety costing too much time and money? Are there seemingly unending delays while your team has to come up with a work plan that is safe? Is safety costing unexpected cost overruns because of the need for additional equipment? If you answered affirmative to any of these above, you're wrong. Here are the real questions. Well, is scheduling impacting safety? No way. The schedule is impacted by safety. If so, why are we having schedule issues? Did we overcommit to get the work? Did we miss something in the bid process? Was the schedule unrealistic to begin with? These errors are not to be corrected by overlooking or shortcutting safety. How can safety ever cost too much time and money? Once again, did we miss something in the bid process? A way to do the particular task in the project? Was the schedule unrealistic from the beginning? Safety has no constraint. Performing the work in a safe fashion may have impacts on profitability if proper planning was not implemented. Is safety at fault for delays? Or did improper planning leave out some aspect of safety that must be accounted for once the work is commenced? How can safety be responsible for cost overruns due to additional equipment? Equipment are a function of estimating. This entire discussion relates back to the concept of planning. Planning a project where safety is first and foremost. Well, is there a solution? What is the solution? I'd like to present to you the theory of the mastermind. The mastermind may be defined as a coordination of knowledge and effort in a spirit of harmony between two or more people for the attainment of definite purpose. This is written by Napoleon Hill in Think and Grow Rich. Do we fully utilize the talent that surrounds us? As leaders, do we turn to our people for their input? How much accumulated knowledge surrounds us? Whether bidding a job or determining the best course of action to complete a task, do we just count on our own knowledge, training, and experience? Or do we multiply our knowledge, training, and experience by soliciting the input of our team members? The combined knowledge of all who work with us is vast. Put it to use for the greater good of all concerned, for a safe job and a more profitable job. All right, everybody, I appreciate you taking time to watch the video. Have a good day. Take care of yourself. Take care of your fellow worker, and I'll see you in the field.